Hey guys, welcome to another On Point Sports podcast where we discuss hot topics in today's sports world. Today I'm joined by Adam,
Yes, sir.
Eric,
Hello.
and Camilo.
Bree.
So we so we kind of got the whole squad here except for Joel. Unfortunately, Joel couldn't make it. We're gonna jump straight into the NFL.
Rest in peace, OL.
Yep, we're gonna
He's
jump
not
straight into the NFL. What were you guys' reactions on the championship round? We're gonna start off in the NFC. So let's start off with the Packers and Niners game.
It was a pretty good game. Eric, how do you feel about this?
I wouldn't honestly. You know what? I, as a fan, am thoroughly disappointed. I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed. If anything, as a NFL fan, or just overall, I think the game was It was a given already to the Niners. This is me just not being biased about it. It was given to the Niners. The Packers weren't prepared for it. I mean, in reality, did anyone think the Packers were gonna win?
Some people did. Terry Bradshaw.
Packers fans did.
I didn't. No, I didn't. Even I had my dad. I didn't think so.
I had my doubts too, but as a Niners, I thought the Niners were gonna lose.
I thought it would have been closer though. It was
Well, I think it's a common thing for
20 something.
people on both sides to have
Well,
fear going into it.
Yeah.
If anything, I thought near the end, if we had a little bit more time, I don't doubt that the Packers would have made it.
You had a lot of time. You had 4 quarters.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm talking
Well, they
about the
went-
second half. In the third, by the start of the fourth half, I mean, they were.
Doesn't
they were
that sound a
You say
little
the fourth
familiar
half?
to what I used to say, huh?
Okay,
If only
well,
we had a little more time.
okay.
Talk about the
Well,
second half.
You're talking about
Shush.
a
Shush.
previous game.
Shush.
You're talking about
You sound like me now.
Okay.
You sound
well,
like me.
Well, the Packers beat the Seahawks, so you shouldn't really be talking.
Hey, listen, okay. I can go on about the second half, but that's clearly not going to help my argument. Anyways,
Yeah, that was
true.
the first out. That was the
Aaron
first
Rodgers clearly didn't underperform. He did
Overperformed.
really
That was his
well.
team. He
Did
can't
he
stop
do well,
27 points in
I
the
know
first half.
that's true. That's true. Honestly, you know what? The defense was very, very disappointing. And
Also, they fumbled not early, but in the first half when they were in the red zone. I
Yeah.
think that really killed them because they would have probably scored. And then if they had one more score going into the half, then we're looking at a one-score game at the very end.
yeah,
Mhm.
but I mean, defense-wise, I mean, we couldn't stop the run for anything. For anyone's life in that game, no one could stop the run.
Not many people have been able to though.
This Raheem Mustard guy did really good.
Mostert.
Raheem Mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the surfer Raheem Mostert.
I mean, he did. Honestly, I mean,
If the
He
Niners
teared.
if the Niners go on and win it all, he might end up being the MVP.
no.
You don't think so? I don't think they're giving it to Jimmy G.
No.
No.
Heck no.
Jimmy G doesn't deserve it.
Wow.
But the game hasn't even started. And it has to do with who performed in the game.
Yeah,
But you
We'll
know
have
what?
to see.
Who even said the Niners were gonna win?
Camilo, you sound like you're in a fishbowl.
he is.
I am the fishbowl.
Oh.
For real, who
But yeah.
said the Niners were going to win the Super Bowl? I'm sorry. I don't like.
Didn't you say the
Packers?
Packers were gonna win the Super Bowl?
Shut the hell up. Don't bring that up. Okay, okay. You said the NFC. You guys are forgetting they're playing against the Chiefs, right? Like,
The Bucs.
I don't know.
Kelsey is
I'm nervous.
he's a little
okay,
sick.
you want
Is it Kels or Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Kelsey?
Mm.
What you're gonna say Kelsey's bad?
No, he's
Because I'm sorry,
one of the best
Kittle-
tight ends in the league.
Kittle was
Second best.
useless in that NFC game. I mean, he only had
Useless?
one. I mean,
Useless?
He was
He was
blocking the whole
blocking.
game.
yeah. Besides being a really good run blocker, like he
So
already
being a
is.
tight end, you mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we were good
one
enough
catch
to
that-
not need to throw it to Kittle and Sanders. Is the thing.
No, it's just Jimmy G doesn't know how to
No.
throw the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy G
not
didn't
throw
need
the
to throw the ball.
I said it
What
a
did he do
little before
against
the
the
podcast
Packers the
started.
first game?
Throw the ball.
I remember him
Oh,
throwing a huge bomb to Kittle.
He got you
Okay.
there.
Okay,
He got you there.
but you know what?
And the Debo too.
Jimmy G has been underperforming recently, though.
No, they
Well, I
just
don't
haven't
know.
been asking.
What? He's throwing like
I don't know
8
if he would-
passes.
call it underperforming, but
I'd call it underperforming. I mean, the guy has
Bro,
how many times?
Is
I
it-
think
the
he's
ball
playing
after
at his normal level. This is his
when
normal level.
you're averaging 8 yards a carry, why do you need to throw it?
That would be selfish.
Not only
on
are
the
they running
quarterback's
out the
side.
clock, but like, why would they want to throw it if they're averaging 8 yards a carry? The Packers couldn't do anything to the run.
That's true. That's true.
Nor
Yeah.
could the Vikings.
I think the Vikings put up a better fight.
So thoughts on that game? Was this unexpected?
Okay.
Was this win unexpected?
I think the
Or
result.
did we all see
wa-
this coming?
I think the
I saw it
result
coming.
was expected, but I don't think the score or how the game kind of went was. I don't think that was expected.
No,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think the
so,
result
either.
of who won was. At least.
So, I
for
mean,
me.
who did you guys really think that Mostert was gonna go for 200 plus yards? Like, come on.
No,
I knew he'd have a
don't.
game, but not that much. And
No,
was
I
it
didn't
4
even-
or 5
I didn't-
touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I never heard of this man's name before this game. I'm serious.
Before this year, I don't think any of us have heard of him. It's been a big year.
Well, he's in he has a playoff record now for the Niners, so.
Yeah.
Or in the NFL, right?
No, I think he was like
For most.
he was a little bit behind the record, but he has the record for the Niners now.
Yeah.
This is for Camilo and Adam. In the second half, when they started picking up on Green Bay side, do you think, or did you have a little doubt or worry in your mind that
Yeah,
the
for
lead
sure.
would get smaller?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was kind of
they
worried.
scored like 20 points just like that. But I mean, when you have the run game like that and you can just take up so much of the clock,
Yeah. With the
it's
clock.
kind of good.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing. When
Yeah.
I was watching the game, I was just praying for them to stop the run because, like, the one thing that we couldn't stop was just the run. I mean, passing wise, I mean, it wasn't happening. So
he
I don't
wasn't
know.
really
They're
throwing passes though.
yeah,
That's
he
the
wasn't
thing.
really throwing. No, he was just running.
Yeah. But yeah, when the lead was getting smaller, obviously I thought maybe there was a chance, but when you have that type of run game, you still kind of trust in that.
So Darius Smith got hurt.
Did
That's
he?
great.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw
he
the
got hurt.
Smith. I saw Kittle blocking the Smith brothers.
Yes, sir.
Damn, Kittle's crazy.
In the
Yeah,
game
Kittle's
and
impressive.
off the field.
So Packers, Niners won that 37-20. We're gonna move on to the AFC. Titans and Chiefs. Titans lost the game to the Chiefs 35-24.
Sad times.
Unfortunately, the Titans couldn't pull through with this little run they had. I don't know if you would call it a Cinderella story, but
That's what they were doing.
Then held them off. What was the run? What did Derrick Henry run?
Derrick Henry didn't do
He didn't
as
do
well.
much at all.
Did he only
um,
run? I heard. I from what I read, he ran like 66 yards or something.
So,
Yep.
oh yeah.
That's the thing about
then-
if that's gonna be the thing about how no one in the playoffs has stopped the Niners' run so far, but then the Chiefs stopped Derrick Henry. So it'll
That's
be
different running though.
yeah, but it's still going into it. I don't think they would be able to stop the run at all because they were bottom 5, I believe, throughout the season.
They started
Chiefs?
picking it up halfway through though.
Yeah.
So I mean, if yeah, okay. No, never mind.
I think what happened.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that run at the end of the game is definitely what killed the Titans. I think.
Yeah.
Because they were on the opposite side of the field with not much time to go, and they could have just kind of stopped them or limited them with their yards, and at least gone into the second half with either the lead or a tied game for the Titans. But by doing that, that kind of killed their momentum, and then the Chiefs got the ball back. Even though they didn't score, it felt like all the momentum for the Titans was gone at that point.
I
Right.
think we all wanted the Titans to win, but we knew it
Yes,
probably
sir.
wasn't gonna happen.
I didn't want them to win.
I wanted the
You know.
Titans to win. I didn't think. I thought the run was going to be too much for the Chiefs.
I thought the same thing.
Clearly wasn't.
Can we just talk about how like Mahomes has been playing? Because that's really scary.
He's been playing
That's
better,
not-
but it's like
Bro, what is the
Everyone's-
Madden curse now?
everyone.
No,
There
I
is no
can't-
Madden curse.
There
You
is
know
a.
what?
I
No,
mean, he
the
hasn't won
Madden-
the
no,
Super
the
Bowl
Ma-
yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
There's still a
yeah,
Madden
okay.
curse there.
But no, you know what? I can't wait for Kittle to be on the cover next year, and then Niners just end
It's
up.
gonna be Lamar.
Hey,
then
don't
Kittle-
do that,
then
please,
Ki-
don't do that.
Then Kittle ends up getting like a broken leg or something.
Whoa,
Oh, wow.
What
okay.
makes you think Kittle will get on the cover?
It's gonna be
You
Lamar.
don't think?
It's gonna be Lamar.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. About that
Everyone
one.
knows it. That's why he's already doing bad.
Don't they go as MVPs?
I guess that's what they've done last few years.
Oh, so
Except
Russell's
Antonio
gonna be on
Brown.
it next year.
Shut up.
Russell. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be good for you. But
Losing halfway into the
Yeah.
playoffs.
That would
Be
have been
over.
good.
No
Oh, so
playoffs.
Lamar Jackson, put him on it. Put it on.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
He's already being affected
really?
by it.
Lamar Jackson on the cover, really?
I mean, yeah, it's
I-
pretty clear who they're gonna put on the cover.
I don't know. I feel like they'd put
You want to put
Aaron
A-Rod?
Rodgers.
No.
Why would they
I don't
put
know.
Kittle?
I don't
Why
think
would they
anyone.
put
I don't
Kittle?
think anyone wants their own players on the Madden cover.
I don't think so either. But I think. What do you mean? Why not Kittle?
I don't think players even
would
want
it
to
be
be on the Madden cover.
No.
They should change that.
They should just put the Madden guy himself.
Nice.
Just an old guy
Who?
sitting on a chair.
He's retired.
Madden 2021. Anyways. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes doing really good.
Yep.
We don't want to touch too much on the Super Bowl, but
Next week.
I mean, yeah, both games were good. Were good games. Patrick Mahomes certainly one of the highlights of that weekend.
It'll be the best offense versus
I mean,
the best
he's been-
defense.
he's been the high- Who has the best defense?
Who do you
The
think has
Niners.
the best defense?
Talking about the Niners.
Are you
You
gonna
think
say
the
the
Niners?
Patriots?
You
The
think
Patriots
Niners
were
have
at the
be-
beginning of the season, but yeah. I mean, yeah, not too much on the Super Bowl, but
Yep.
I just want to get Eric's perspective because I'm not sure if we're gonna have him next week.
For what, the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, which way you leaning?
I think Chiefs.
I think
I
I
really
know
want
who's
the Chiefs to
leading,
win. I think Mahomes deserves it. He's definitely put up the numbers for it. And you know what? I hope he breaks the curse.
I hope so too. Oh,
Eric,
so you
have
got
you
my.
ever went for the Niners?
No, I don't
In your
think they
life?
have.
Yeah, no, I want no because I wanted them to lose against,
No, I did.
I wanted them to lose to the Seahawks. If Seahawks
Did they lose to the
would've
Seahawks?
beat the Niners, if they would have beaten them, I don't doubt that the Packers would have been in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah, we'd have to play the Saints, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to play Saints, and then you'd have to play us at or home.
We still would
No,
probably.
it would've
beat
been-
you
it would've been
guys,
They
though.
would
Saints
have.
at Packers.
They probably still would have been.
If we had made
First
it through
round
the
would've been
Saints, though.
Packers. Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't know why you're trying to put the 49ers to a low standard.
I don't
You
know.
know, they're
I'm not putting it. It's just me being biased.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deny it.
It's
I don't like the
Stephen.
Niners.
It's Stephen A. Smith out here, bro. You could never give
I
the
just
Niners
don't-
love.
I just don't like the Niners.
He went for the
I don't
Seahawks
think-
against the Niners and they lost. He went for the Vikings against the Niners and they lost. Went for the Packers against the Niners and they
Hey,
lost.
that Seahawks game was close.
Not really.
An inch close.
Oh,
It
That
was
was
an inch
close.
too far.
Oh, are you saying I'm a jinx? Are you saying that the only reason why
I mean,
that?
maybe. It's
I'm
been 4 straight
jinxing.
weeks now.
No, I want Chiefs to win. I still want the Chiefs to win. God,
I know. That'll be 5 straight.
I don't want Jimmy G. I don't want Jimmy G to hold up that ring. I don't want to
He
have
already
his
has
own
2.
ring.
So
No, but they're not his.
I mean, they are his. He has them.
He
Yeah,
mentored
he didn't
Tom Brady.
Earned them. He didn't
Back
earn
up.
them.
He didn't earn them.
Debatable.
That's back.
Would you say the
Get
49ers
more.
are the
Oh,
It's
because
new.
the first 4 games, really?
Yeah,
You think he deserves a ring because of just 4 games?
4 games.
It was
Yeah, he played 4 games. No,
it was
didn't he
moral
play 4?
support.
Oh, you're right. It was my bad. You're right.
You got this,
I
Tom.
forgot.
You got this.
And
Thanks.
then he got injured, I think, in the third.
Yeah. Who was the
Yeah.
other guy? What was his name?
Jacoby Brissett.
Colts.
Oh shoot, he's playing for the Colts. That's crazy.
Yeah. He's not that good.
No,
Patriots
he's
know
not.
how to pick.
Actually, I don't know. I think he's doing okay with the Colts.
They're
They
gonna pick
made
Jalen
playoffs.
Hurts, 22nd pick this year. Spoilers.
He could.
Oh, Packers get 30th pick. Watch us just draft to like.
Kenneth Murray.
You guys need a
Why
wide
does
receiver. You guys need
No.
another playmaker.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Devontae
Watch
ain't
us,
doing
watch us pick up a freaking quarterback.
that. Probably.
If we
All right,
can-
this is getting kind of scrambled like eggs. Before we let go of Eric, we'd like to congratulate Ryan Tannehill
Yes,
Lamar
sir.
Jackson, and some
Others.
other people. We forgot
Russell
their names.
Wilson.
For making
No.
their first Pro Bowl
Don't
appearance.
congratulate that man.
Yeah. Sayonara, Eric, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me on. Good night.
All right. So we're gonna move on to the NBA. We're gonna talk more trade rumors, because I mean that's kind of the buzz. I mean, there's nothing happening in the league right now. It's basically Bucks and Lakers at the top.
Yeah.
So trade talk. You guys got any trades in mind that you can talk about?
I feel like the only one that was really talked about that I feel like could still go down is something involving Kevin Love. I think maybe it's kind of hard to see where he would go.
The Wizards.
Do you is that for real? Do you think he is?
I mean, he seems pretty cool with Bradley Beal after what happened last night. So I'm guessing that could be a possibility. I mean, I don't see him going anywhere else.
I was thinking Portland just because that's where he's from, but I don't know if he could.
I heard Portland might get rid of Hassan Whiteside just to make more space.
I mean,
I don't know if they can pick up Kevin Love's contract, can they?
Nurkic is apparently he was.
All right, boys.
cleared for
I haven't
practice.
watched the NBA much this season, so I'm gonna bounce out.
Okay. Thanks for coming,
sorry.
Camilo. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.
So, so yeah, I feel like he could go to Portland just because he's from there, and then also like you were saying, they might trade maybe they'll trade Whiteside for Kevin Love and a pick, or something like that, just because Nurkic has been cleared. I don't know if it was for practice or it was something.
Yeah, he's been running
progressing.
practices recently. Yeah.
So he might come back sooner rather than later, actually. Which then, if you put together Lillard, McCollum, Melo, Love, and then Nurkic, that's a pretty good lineup. But somehow they're still on the outside of the playoffs. Which
Do they have money for that though?
I mean, if they get rid of Whiteside, because I think they signed him for a big deal. So then if they trade that, maybe they'll have some more room. Because Kevin Love's contract is pretty big, but I think Whiteside is also pretty big. So if you kind of trade one for another, I think you should be able to work. But besides the Blazers, I don't really. Maybe the Wizards, I don't know, just as a wild card team. But I don't really know who he could be traded to. Because no one really seems like they're looking to get a trade right now, just because, let's look at a team like the Hawks or the Cavs with only 12 or 11 wins. That seems like, all right, they're on the outside of the playoffs, but they're only about 7 or 6 games out from the playoffs, which being in January, that could happen at any point. And then in the West, excluding the Warriors, the other teams are like 5 games out. So for a team to, for a team like maybe the Cavs to throw him away to another team already, or just for any trades to happen in general, because no trades are really happening, I think it definitely has to do with how close teams are to kind of be in there. But I don't know.
So you think Portland's a realistic place for him to go to?
I think that's most likely the team he'll go to. Though I think we mentioned this on the podcast a while ago, the Heat might be another option. Or even, I feel like the Celtics are always an option in every single trade. Just because they kind of have the pieces to give to anyone and make a run. But yeah. Besides that.
Kuzma, his role has kind of been downplayed this season because of because they got Anthony Davis. I think he's in trade talks too. I'm not sure with what teams, but what team do you see him going to if he does get traded?
I don't really know what team he would go to. I don't think it's a good idea to trade him, and I think we've talked about this on the podcast also before, that they have all these different young people that they've traded away, and then they've ended up being a lot better. And also Kuzma has, if you go to a lot of these games, he's up there with the leading scorer, if not being the leading scorer. But then somehow it's just, I don't know. I feel like if there's any team, I remember they were saying maybe there was rumors that he might end up going to the Kings for Bogdanovich.
What?
But I don't know. It's kind of weird how all these trades that are coming out that people want here and there just seem like they're not realistic trades, and I just don't know. I don't think he should be traded.
I mean, the Kuzma for Bogdanovich doesn't sound too bad for the Kings.
Yeah,
but I don't think.
Looking at it from the Lakers standpoint too, I don't see. They want someone like him, but I think just Kuzma is gonna be a really good player going forward, and I don't see a reason to trade him. Also,
I mean, you have no purpose for him in LA anymore because of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. For the moment, at least, I don't see him doing anything.
I mean,
but
I would realistically, I feel like you could put LeBron at the point guard, Danny Green shooting guard, Kuzma at the small forward, and AD at the power forward with JaVale at the center. But I don't think they've ever tried that lineup because that's just a super tall lineup, kind of.
They're kind of looking towards LeBron and Anthony Davis at the end of the day because Kyle Kuzma is just another guy on the roster this year.
But then
you have two superstars on your team.
Yeah.
What's the point of having Kyle Kuzma? Not saying because I think Kyle Kuzma fits the same role as LeBron and Anthony Davis. Yeah. You can't really have the three of them playing at the same time because get a little. Yeah. I don't know. The ball wouldn't be shared between all three, just two of them at a time.
Yeah. But then also LeBron last night was interviewed on if there was any trade talk around the team, and he said that they have everyone that they need to win the championship. So I'm not sure if that means that they're not going to trade, because I feel like that's obviously what you say. You don't tell them you want to trade someone. That's not kind of what you would do. But I feel like they might keep this lineup just because, I don't know. I think they can make some moves, but I don't know if there's any big-time moves that they can make or if Kuzma should even be traded. I don't personally think he should be traded for anything, but I think they can make some other moves.
I agree. Yeah, they should keep him. Not a big name, but sort of out there. Trevor Ariza with Sacramento. Do you think he'll leave?
Yeah, he was traded.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's on the Blazers now.
So wow. Oh, is he starting?
No, I think he's behind Melo.
Oh, damn.
Let me actually look that up. Because I remember it was for... Let me see here. So it was Trevor Ariza, Wenyen Gabriel, and Caleb Swanigan for Kent Bazemore, Tolliver, and 2 second-round picks. So that was the trade that went down. I think it's a good trade for both because the Kings are getting... For those players, I don't know if those are great players for them to add, but for them to get picks, and for someone like Trevor Ariza, who's not going to be on the Kings for a long time, to get him to a not really championship contender, but a team that is on the outside looking in, trying to get in, even though they're only one game out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good trade for the Blazers, and then the Kings are getting picked, so I feel like that was all around an okay pick, or an okay trade, especially just for kind of Trevor Ariza and a few others.
Wow, I didn't even know that happened. I know they do have Harrison Barnes, so there's no point in having Trevor Ariza unless you want to go big, I guess.
They just have a lot of
forwards
talent on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the same positions. Same thing for the Knicks too, but it doesn't look like they're wanting to make any changes.
Speaking about the Knicks, Marquise or I'm not sure which one of the Morris brothers. Marcus Morris. I think he might leave because
what are you thinking? LA?
I don't know where to. Maybe that's a possibility.
I'm thinking, like the one that I don't think anyone's really thinking about is the Sixers, because I think they desperately need something to help them because they're the 6th seed right now. They're 20-2 at home, but 9-15 on the road, which you would think is really good. But they're looking at not having the home court advantage in the playoffs right now. So I think they just need something else to kind of boost them up. Obviously, if they win one game and the two teams above them lose a game, then they have home court. It's that close. But I just feel like if you add him to their team, because you can't really... How many people can you name from the Sixers bench right now?
No one, except for that guy who hit the buzzer beater. I still don't know his name.
Korkmaz. But yeah, besides him, it's kind of hard to name some other people. They don't really have any depth. So I think if they were to make a trade there, I think they could maybe offer a pick because the Knicks might be looking for that. But I could also see something I feel like would be completely unfair would be if he goes to the Bucks, just because that would add even more depth to their team.
You talking who?
Marcus Morris to the Bucks or to one of the LA teams.
Oh,
I think that's most likely what's going to happen is him going to one of the LA teams.
a contender basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know. I don't really see the trade happening just because the Knicks don't really seem like they're super like needy of a trade right now. I think they wanted Drummond at one point, but then that didn't happen, and I haven't really heard much besides the Marcus Morris stuff. But yeah, I don't think he'll be traded. Could very well. I don't think he will.
One last name bring up before we move on. Steven Adams with the OKC Thunder has been brought up. I don't know. I just saw a report.
Yeah.
Looks like they're looking to part ways or something.
Yeah, I saw something about him going to the Clippers. I don't think that's realistic though. Though if it is, that's insane. If they were to trade someone like Zubac and a few of their bench people for him, or Zubac and a pick. But I think right now I don't know if there's anyone who really. I don't think I've heard any names that are really out there that want him right now.
Yeah, no. We just know that he's kind of out there shopping him.
And I feel like if they were to have him go to a team, maybe the Mavericks, just because they're kind of losing depth in that center position. Besides that, I don't really see any other teams that might end up wanting him, at least in the West, which maybe he won't go in the West. In the East, I don't know. We don't really know any teams for him right now that want him, so it's kind of hard to say who we think he'll go to.
Yeah. Oh, this is. Sorry for kind of pushing this. I saw something about the Atlanta Hawks kind of pushing for Montrezl Harrell. Could you see that happening?
No, I don't see that happening. I've heard Harrell's name be thrown around, but I don't think it's a good idea either to have him thrown around because he's scoring how much? I remember the last game I looked, he had scored 30 points, though this was without their starters.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he's. Let me see if I can find what he's averaging here. But I don't think it's a good idea. And if he goes to the Hawks, what do you think they would trade? I don't really see anything that they
probably
trade.
the guy they picked up this year and some other pieces. That DeAndre Hunter guy.
For Montrezl Harrell though, that just seems kind of. I don't know.
Well, Montrez is not that old, right?
No, he is. Let me see if I can find his age here.
He's 24, 25, around there.
Something like that. But he's averaging just below 20 points a game. He's averaging, what else? About 7 rebounds, 2 assists. So, I mean, he's good for their bench. But I don't know. I don't really see a reason for them to get rid of him. He's 25 right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see a reason for them to get rid of Harrell. I don't see what's kind of wrong with it. Maybe there's something wrong on the court or in the locker room, but just from what
it wasn't the Clippers.
Anything.
It was just the Atlanta Hawks trying to push for him because I think his contract's coming to an end or something.
If the Hawks want him, absolutely, but I don't think the Clippers will even think about trading him.
Yeah. Same news in the trade world. Andre Drummond's still out there. I think the Timberwolves are still trying to push for D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to the All-Star starter reactions.
Yep.
So the leaders for the All-Star teams were LeBron James and Giannis. Not a surprise.
Yep.
But I'm gonna read off the East All-Star starting lineup for you.
Yep. We
got Giannis, as you know, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, and Trae Young. Any of these names surprise you?
None of them surprised me. I'm really glad that Trae Young's in there, obviously. But nothing really surprised me. I feel like if I was to realistically look at, because I think I texted in the group chat last night what I thought the teams would be, and I think they're the exact same that they ended up having. But I think it was the right
Mhm.
idea. Though there's some talk in the East about how how Jimmy Butler wasn't on the team, and maybe to have him instead of Siakam. But I don't think that's really even an issue because Embiid is out right now with his, I don't know if it was a fractured finger, but that thing with his finger. And I
Yeah.
don't think he's actually going to play in the All-Star game because of that. Because I think he'll be healthy just about when it's All-Star time, and I don't think his first game back will be the All-Star game. I think they'll have him out.
Mhm.
And then I think Jimmy Butler will be put into that starting spot. So I don't think it's really an issue. I don't think there's really anything to discuss about that one. Or
Are there
anything
any
to debate
names
topic.
other than Jimmy Butler that should be on there that
Uh,
aren't?
I don't think so, really. I mean, maybe Kyrie, but he missed a lot of the season, which is
Mhm.
why I think he missed out. Trey Young and Kemba have had some pretty good years, or year this year. Giannis obviously was making it, and Embiid I feel like was good enough to make it, and Siakam's had a really good year too. So I think it's a pretty good starting lineup. I think there will be
Yeah,
more
Siakam
of
actually.
controversy once the reserves come out next week.
Yeah, it's a surprise seeing Siakam on the starting lineup because
Yeah.
the beginning of the last year he was kind of like just
Yeah.
a guy on the Raptors lineup. Now he's like a star.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy.
Kind of what happened with Giannis too a few years back.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Maybe we'll see the same from him in the future. Who knows? So for the West, we have obviously LeBron James as the captain,
Yep.
and behind him are Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard. No
Yep.
surprise there. I don't know.
I think all of the ballots kind of had those 5 as the top. Like I think it was number 1 in each category, and then after that, then it kind of went off.
Mhm.
But I feel like everyone kind of had those 5 names for all of the people right now. So I think I think the starters for both conferences are really what everyone wanted, but also the what am I trying to say? I think the reserves, when that stuff comes out, that'll be more of a controversy. But I think the starters were just kind of what everyone thought they would be.
Yeah. Congrats to Luka for making it his first year.
Luka and Trae Young.
Yeah, Luka and Trae Young.
Both in their second year, both were compared to each other. Now they're both on an All-Star in the second year.
It's crazy. It's gonna be crazy seeing them grow
Yep,
in their
they're only in their
careers.
second year.
Especially, it's
They're both
we
on
kind
the
of got to watch them closely because we kind of like 10 years from now we want to see if either side made a bad trade.
Yeah. I
Made
think
a bad
already
move by
at this
trading.
point, it wasn't a bad trade, but it's more of just who wins the trade in the end.
Yeah,
But I think it was a good trade no matter what.
we'll see. It's crazy. Imagine if that trade never went down. Anyways, it's
Yep.
kind of weird not seeing Steph Curry and Kevin Durant's name in these starting lineups.
It is, which is why all of these, because if you add both of those, maybe Luka doesn't make it, maybe Harden
And
doesn't
Trae Young.
make it. No, Trey would make it for the East.
No, like if Kevin Durant was healthy.
Yeah, but it's 2 guards and 3 forwards.
Oh,
a
that's
forward and center.
right.
So then maybe Siakam wouldn't have made it.
Or maybe
So
Kevin Durant would have been the captain. Who knows?
He might have been.
That's crazy
but yeah.
though, not seeing their names.
Yep. That also might be why, I think we talked about it a while back, why the ratings were down, or maybe still are down, because we have all those big-time names out.
They are down.
Yeah.
It's basically a lockout season right now, man. It sucks.
Pretty much.
Speaking about teams that are not so good. I don't know if the Nets. Oh, the Nets are. So we're gonna talk about the Western Conference 7th and 8th seed.
Yep.
So those teams, I mean, from 7 to let's say
they're all
11 or 10.
Yeah. For
Kinda
which conference? East or West?
In the West.
For the West.
Looks like it'll be a little competitive. The Thunder are kind of a
Yeah.
little up with the 7th seed, 26 wins, and the 8th seed is 20 wins.
I think the 1 through 7, obviously not locked, but I think they'll be fine. And I think the Thunder kind of control their own season. Do they want to trade people and kind of blow up their team, or do they want to keep a playoff run going?
Yeah.
I think no matter what they do, they'd be successful in that. Seeing the gap right there. There's also a gap in the East once we get to that.
Do you see? I mean, it's kind of unpredictable right now, but do you see any team slipping into that 8th spot?
So I feel like you can never count out the Spurs just because they're the Spurs. They've made it so many times, and they're also in that position right now, even though they were like the 15th seed a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to think the Blazers, but they just can't win any games. Now their schedule might have been really hard in the first half of the year. I'm not sure, but going forward, I think that I just think the Blazers is probably, if I had to pick someone, the Blazers might be my pick.
Yeah, I mean their team is pretty solid. It's a surprise not seeing it in the top 8.
Yeah.
Or like I would see them at the 5th seed right now, but that's not happening.
Yeah, and since they're the 10th seed, they might end up going for that Kevin Love trade we were talking about.
Yeah. On the Eastern Conference, I mean, it's kind of the same situation, but with the 7th seed included. Who would you like to see in the 7th and 8th seed? Right now we have the Magic and Nets, if you don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the Magic are gonna somehow stay around. But obviously I don't want the same teams in there. If I had to personally choose, I would probably want the Pistons in there, just because I feel like no matter what, I think the Magic might put up a fight against the team that they play. I don't think the Nets will, though, even though they have a solid team. But I just feel like maybe Kyrie won't be trying to play that hard then because it doesn't really mean too much.
Mm-hmm.
To where the Pistons might be interesting because they might not even have the same players they have right now at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Bulls would be interesting to see, just because they have a kind of younger team right now, so it'd be interesting to see them in the playoffs. And they're just one game difference right there.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be kind of interesting moving forward.
I know, like this time of the year last year, the Bulls were kind of picking up because, right? They went on a little run or something. I don't know. I could have sworn they were good.
Kind of at this point.
That's why I kind of held them to high hopes for this season.
Yeah.
But I think after All-Star break, they'll start to kind of get better, but I don't.
Well, it depends
think
if
they'll
they want to
slip
get
into
the
the
playoffs
top
or
8.
not, because maybe they'll want to. Because they've been always right there with, in the lottery, like at the top of the lottery.
Yeah.
So now for them to actually be, even though they're the 10th seed, they're still like 2 losses away from getting one of those high picks again. That's how close the whole league is right now.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
I mean, maybe, but they kind of have to try and get the 8th seed right now. They can't afford to lose a ton of games right now.
If I were to guess, I'd say the Pistons would slip into that 8th seed. I don't think the Nets will hold on.
The thing about the Pistons is that they don't have Griffin, most likely for the rest of the season.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, they do have Drummond though. So
Oh, then never mind. I think it's already set. I think the Nets are going to be in.
could be. We'll have to see what happens.
I don't know if Drummond is like, does he want to play with the Pistons or?
Yeah, he says he wants to be there for I think the rest of his career.
Oh,
Yeah, so I don't really know. They're not really moving forward. They've kind of been at the same place the whole year, or not the whole year, but his whole career kind of.
do you think it's Drummond or the team?
I mean, I think it's the team, just because. Who is around Andre Drummond?
Reggie Jackson. He's been by his side for a while now, but he hasn't done anything. Luke Kennard. They kind of found a little good shooting guard in him, but he's been out for a couple games.
And then Blake just keeps having injuries.
Injuries, yeah.
So it's kind of hard to build around him too.
I mean, if they were to lock in like a good small forward or something,
Yeah.
they'll probably be good.
D Rose right now, but he might end up getting traded.
Damn, the Pistons are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little disconnected. What happened?
I don't know, but anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna close it off for this podcast. We put all our stuff on social media at On Point Sports. On Point Sports. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.